Visit CCGCastle.com and get 5% discount on your purchase with TCG Center 5 code. Check video description or visit CCG Castle for more. Hello and welcome back to Pokemon TCG Center. Today we're looking at deck for the standard format, and this is a Raticate break. I should definitely call this a budget deck. So basically I made it for now to be with the cards for the Primal class shown format. So probably one or two cards will be replaced in this deck. Something like I will add that new supporter card that says that you can actually pick two special energies from your discard pile and put them into your deck, and also will place the Pokemon Ranger who can actually shut down those effects of attacks like Seismitoad item lock or maybe Giratina Chaos Field. That's just reason because if Giratina would be played in a future format, probably will not be able to attach those special energy cards, and I'm only running two basic grass energies, so that's the reason for those changes. So basically not too many cards are going to be replaced, maybe just like one or two cards, and that's pretty much all. So you can definitely look at the future with this deck, and I think it's going to be very interesting and very nice to play with it, especially because it's a budget deck and it's a lot of fun playing with it. So basically, I'm running 4 copies of Rattata. It's pretty good Raticate break. I mean, Rattata is also a pretty decent card. I mean, if you start with it, you can draw a card and switch with one of your badged Pokemons. For example, also the card that can be included in this deck, for example, it can be something like Robo Substitute, but I actually decide not to run it. I mean, it's good to start with it. Basically because you can just leave your opponent knock out your Robo and you can actually play teammates after that. But trust me, there's just not too many space in this deck for a card like that. Also Raticate with antibodies and Dirty Shock, which says that your opponent active Pokemon is now poisoned. Discard all Pokemon tool cards attached to that Pokemon. Yeah, pretty much good attack. And also Raticate break as the main attacker with the Super Fang. Basically it says that put damage counters on your opponent active Pokemon until this remaining Pokemon HP is 10. And if you combine that with the Ariados, you can actually one-hit knock out any Pokemon with a single shot. And of course I can see a lot of potential in this deck against EX decks. But against some non-EX decks, it's definitely going to be hard, but it's not possible to beat them. Also, yeah, I totally forgot to mention 2 Ariados with the Poisonous Nest as a support, same as 2 Spinark. Also, Jirachi with the Stardust is definitely a good pair for this deck. So, I guess from X and Y 36 promo cards are going to be legal. So that's the reason why I'm running 1 copy of Jirachi. It's definitely good. With the Colress energy, you can discard a special energy attached to your opponent active Pokemon, and you can actually prevent effects of attack, including damage down to this Pokemon during your opponent's turn. So basically, you can have a few turns if your opponent plays special energies until you actually manage to have your Raticate break in play. But also, trust me, turn 2, it's definitely possible to have Raticate break same as the Radiatos in play because I'm playing those Woolies and they're just pretty badass card. 2 Remoraid with Iron Pool, of course, and 2 Octilleries with Abyssal Hand. Octillery is a $8 or $9 card at this moment. It's a budget Shaymin EX. And trust me, for the long run and for the decks like this, Octillery is just way too better. Some people would say you need to play Shaymin, at least 1 copy of Shaymin, if you start very bad. Well, I'm looking like that. Well, it's okay. I mean, you have Shaymin X in your deck, and what happens next? Your opponent can actually snipe you for 2 prizes. Losing Octillery is just losing 1 prize, but then again you have Raticate left or Ariados in play as the attacker. The biggest concern right there should probably be Ariados. You don't want to lose your Ariados, but even if you lose your Ariados, you have the second one. You have 4 puzzle of time, so you can actually get access from your discard pile to pretty much anything you want. Playing also 1 Enhanced Hammer is definitely a good thing because now, a lot of people should probably play those special energy cards, but trust me, with 4 copies of puzzles, you can every time pick that Enhanced Hammer again. 2 level balls, including 4 Ultra Balls in this deck is definitely also a good thing, because with a level ball you can actually search your deck for pretty much everything except for the Raticate break. So very good point. 4 copies of Puzzle Time, so you can actually play them twice. For taking 4 extra cards from your discard pile back into your hand, which is definitely strong. Single Super Road. I guess 4 Trainer's Mails are also good to have, but as I mentioned earlier, you can definitely try to play with the deck list if you want. I mean, also in the future format, having those what's the name of the card? Bursting Balloons is definitely very good, because Bursting Balloon will not be able to be replaced or removed from your active Pokemon, and definitely it's not bad to at least try to reduce your opponent's chance to attack you on early game. But I don't know, sometimes I think it's just not worth for your opponent, as he realized that you play Raticate Break and that you are going to want to hit him knockout, so he should probably just going to attack you as much as he can. Also 4 copies of Ultra Ball. The very interesting thing that I only play 3 VE Seekers in this deck. Yeah, I know that a lot of people says for competitive play you need to have 4 VE Seekers. I do agree with that, but I simply just want to have deck balanced as much as I can. So that's the reason why I'm running 3 VE Seekers. I was also thinking maybe to take something like a red card inside, so I can actually try to red card Delinquent my opponent and cut his chances from driving something good. But then I also realized that I simply don't have too many space in the deck, and that's the reason why I'm running also 3 VE Seekers. But I guess with 3 VE Seekers you can definitely play competitive. Single Delinquent, which is definitely a good card. It can discard Stadium cards, so you can actually counter your opponent's Stadium card and discard 3 cards from his hand. I really like the card. 1 Lysander, 2 Ants, and 4 Professor Sycamore, so that means 6 draw supporters. A copy of Teammates, which can definitely be a good card, because when you get the knockout, you can search your deck for any 2 cards. So, for example, you can take Puzzle of Time times 2, you can take Jirachi Octillery, a Level Ball, whatever you want from your deck. I mean, it's definitely a good card. 2 copies of Wally for turn 1, maybe Raticate, so you can have turn 2 Raticate Break and Play. 3 copies of Silent Lab. I decided to roll with the Silent Lab just because I can actually shut out all of my opponent's abilities from basic Pokemons in play. And I really like that. I mean, playing Silent Lab in the future is definitely a big deal, because I can see a lot of players play those shames for the setup. They will probably go with also other Pokemons with abilities, but trust me, shutting down Shaman is a big deal, because if your opponent does not have supporter card, and you can actually prevent him from playing, for example, Hoopa, also a very good card. I mean, a lot of people play Hoopa. I can see that a lot of people should actually play those Rayquaza decks in the future, and if you can actually shut down Mega Rayquaza with Silent Lab, you can definitely do a great job. Also 2 copies of Floatstone, just in case you're stuck in the front with Octillery or maybe a Rieto, so you can actually free a treat. 4 copies of double Colress Energies and 2 Grass Energies. As usual, if you're looking for any of these cards, you know that you can find them on CCGCastle.com. I provide you the link in my video description, so if you're new to the store, you can get 5% discount on your purchase by typing TCG Center 5 code, so definitely keep that in mind and definitely check that. Alright, so now when I reveal my deck list for that Raticate break, let's do some game tests so you can actually see how this deck works in the action. Alright, so let's call the heads as usual, and unfortunately for me, I lost that coin flip, so my opponent will start first. I'm not sure if I play against Alakazam, but there's a good chance that I might play against Alakazam. If you ask yourself why I'm not running a Bridget in this deck, it's just because turn 1 Wally for Octillery. That's my answer for not running a Bridget in this deck. It's just not worth. It's good for the setup, that's for sure, but you want to have Octillery turn 1 for that Abyssal hand, so you can actually have turn 2 better and bigger explosive start, in my opinion. Trubbish, alright. Yeah, there's a problem with this deck. The problem is Trubbish. Trubbish actually kills your deck pretty easily. Because it actually blocks your abilities, and in a future format you are not going to be able actually to counter a tools. You will not going to be able to discard them, so you need somehow to knock out your opponent Trubbish. But as long as he have Floatstone attached on it, it's just hard in my opinion. Alright, Mega Mewtwo EX. We'll see how this is going to work against Mega Mewtwo. Probably not that good, but I need to get rid of that rubbish as soon as possible, and that's definitely going to give me some kind of a boost. So I'm going to take my level ball right here for Remoraid. I definitely need to get my artillery in play as soon as possible with my Wally. So there's a trainer's mail. I guess for the Ultra Ball, that's for sure. But after that, a trainer's mail will give me a Wally, which is a good thing. So right now I can go with my Ultra Ball. Nah, you gotta be kidding me. I misclicked and I discarded my Wally from hand. That means that I cannot play my Abyssal hand right now, and that means that I need to play my Professor Sycamore. Alright, never mind. Oh my gosh. I don't like when that happens, but actually it happens. There's a trainer's mail for the teammates. That's definitely not good. Trust me. I lost like a turn for the setup right here. Alright, never mind. We'll get stronger and better for this matchup. Alright, so still my main focus is to knock out my opponent Trubbish from the active spot. I hope he's not going to be able to retreat. Yeah, Delinquent would be a pretty big deal right here. So there's a Skyla for my opponent. He's probably looking for something like maybe Ultra Ball. So he can actually go with the Shaman if he plays Shamans, or maybe just Ultra Ball, maybe just Skyla for Professor Sycamore for the 7 cards on the next turn. Yeah, that Wally in Discard Pile was actually a big deal. Actually, he decided to roll with the Floatstone, so he can actually find. Yeah. He has Shaman left in his deck, in his hand, so he can roll with the 5 cards. He can even take the knockout right there. That's not good. As long as he does not have Garbodor in play, I'm more than happy seeing Mega Mewtwo in the active spot, trust me. So there's my Remoraid, there's my Octillery, there's my Ariados, and there is my N. I'm going first to N. I need to find some energy cards, I need to find some Raticates, I need to find something better than this. I'm going to play my Ultra Ball right here for one of my Sycamore and Octillery. I guess one Octillery per turn is just pretty good. And right now I might grab Raticate, or I might grab... Yeah, I guess I need to grab Raticate because I don't have Jirachi. Unfortunately for me, Jirachi would be a very nice play right now, but I don't have one. Let's just poison our opponent Mewtwo when we can. Let's go with a Abyssal Hand for 3. Alright, there's another Raticate and a Level Ball, so I'm going to grab something like a Remoraid, so I can actually give my opponent a chance to knock out Remoraid instead of my Raticates. At least I managed to affect him with a special condition. I still don't have a double Colress energy, but his Mega Mewtwo is affected with a special condition. As long as he poisoned, all I really need is my Raticate Break, Abyssal Hand, and something big like double Colress energy, so I can actually knock out his Mega Mewtwo with a single shot with my Raticate Break. And there's a Lysander, so he's going to knock out my Ariados with the Psychic Infinity. Alright, I guess not a big deal. Let's go with Artillery into the active. I can set up easily another Ariados, so that's definitely not something big. and not something I should actually worry about. So Abyssal Hand for 2 before I go with my Professor Sycamore. There's a Silent Lab. Enhance Hammer, just in case. Just in case I don't find double Colorless Energy, but hopefully I'll be able to find one. So there's a double Colorless Energy, and also 2 Puzzle of Times. If you ask me, is it time to play Puzzle of Time right now, I should definitely say, yes, it is. And I'm going to put my Octillery and my Spinner back into my hand, that's for sure. But actually, I might go with Deliquent. I guess Spinner is also a good thing. So I can have 2 Abyssal Hands right now, which is definitely very strong. Let's see what Abyssal Hand number 2 can give me. I'm also searching for that Super Road. There's no sign of it, so there's another Rattata. Super Fang for the knockout, and that's a big knockout. That's knockout for Mega Mewtwo and for the 2 prizes. And there is Ultra Ball, which can give me easily Ariados into play. As long as he does not have Garbodor, I'm more than happy. There's a double Colorless Energy for that Mewtwo on the bench. Let's see, I need to get rid of that Trubbish as soon as possible. Even with Trubbish in the active spot, I can always use my Dirty Shock and leave my opponent active Pokemon poisoned, so I can also discard Tool card attached from that Pokemon. So I should definitely say that right now my opponent is in a big position to lose this game, because he's playing EX deck. And I really just need that Ariados and the chance to knock out his Trubbish. That Silent Lab also blocks my opponent from setting up. Let's say he have access to the Shaman or maybe even better Hoopa, he just cannot play them. So there's a V-Seeker and he needs to go with the Skyla. He needs to take that Garbodor. He needs to take this seriously. But then again, if... oh, so he actually rolled with, Skyla for Ultra Ball, which can probably lead him to the Garbodor. There's no chance to take Shaman because there's a Silent Lab in the game. If you decide to stay in the active with his Trubbish, there's a good chance that I might be able to use Dirty Shock. Oh no, so he decided to roll with the Mega Mewtwo actually. Alright, so at least he can try to knock out my Raticate break right here, which is definitely a big deal with the Psychic Infinity. Luckily I have second one ready to attack, so I guess it's not that big deal. Alright, it's time to bench down my Jirachi. It's time for the Ultra Ball. Then after that it's time to find a Super Road, but it's priced unfortunately. Alright, Abyssal Hand for 3. Oh, there was actually a teammates, and I get the chance to knock out my opponent Mega Mewtwo. He's down to 1 card from the prize card, and he cannot do too much, so I actually managed to win the game. So let's move to the game number 2. Alright, so welcome everyone to the game test. So I'm going to start with flipping the heads on the coin flip as usual. And I managed to win that coin flip, so that means that I can start first, which is definitely a good thing. Going first with this deck is almost half of a great job, because you can actually set up on your turn 1, you can do some crazy stuff. As you can see, I have my Octillery in hand, so that means that I can actually play Abyssal Hand on the next turn if my opponent does not play N, which is very important right there. But the problem is that I don't have Spinark on my bench. That's the biggest concern at this moment, so let's see. Oh, there's a Blitzy on the other side, but very nice top deck as a Ultra Ball. So what I'm going to do right here is definitely thinking still like maybe I should go with my Trainer's Mail first, so I can see what's the next 4 card of my deck, and there's a Puzzle of Time. I'm going to grab my puzzle right here, so I can actually set up pretty well on my turn 1. And I will take a risk with my Wally for Octillery, and there it is. So there's a second Octillery in my deck. And right now I can actually play my Ultra Ball for the Delinquent and Octillery, and I can take something like a Spinarch down to my bench. Alright, after that I need to play 2 of my puzzles, but before I probably decide to roll with my 2 puzzles, I will first go with my Abyssal Hand for 3. After that I can play 2 puzzles. Alright, not bad at all. So let me get 2 puzzle times at this turn, so I can actually grab Trainer's Mail and maybe Ultra Ball. Alright, so let's see what we can get with the Trainer's Mail. And is very good option, to be honest, especially for the next turn. Do I want to attach energy at this turn? Probably I don't want to do that. So for the next turn I can have my Arietos in play. I can even go with the Ultra Ball for Raticate. After that I can attach DC. After that I can roll with my N, but even better, I still have that Abyssal Hand. I miss that another Raticate for my bench, and that's the biggest concern at this moment for me. But I guess it's not a big deal. I'm still in a good position, to be honest. As long as I have Octillery turn 1, that's definitely a strong play. I was thinking about having Octillery turn 1 in play, or maybe something like Eradicate, but I decided to go with the drop support. It's the most important thing you need to have these days. So there's Professor Sigma for my opponent. I still cannot see too much of his deck. I know that he played that Blitzy, so I know it's a Zubstrika, it's a Raichu. I'm not sure what else. So there's a Max Elixir, which is definitely interesting. Playing Max Elixir in your deck, definitely good card. But then you need to be very cautious when you play Max Elixir for the amount of Max Elixirs and energies you play. So in most case scenario, I play 3 Max Elixirs if I play up to 8 energy cards. If I play 10 to 12, then definitely you need to have 4 Max Elixirs, because playing those Max Elixirs for like 6 energies in theory left in your deck, there's just a good chance that you might not be able to draw Max Elixir. So that's the reason why I play something like that. So there's a Rietos. And I can even go with my Ultra Ball right there, but I don't know if I want to discard one of my Raticate breaks. I will take a risk. I guess I need to risk if I want to win. That's just a standard procedure, I guess. Don't know even how to say that. So there's a Abyssal Hand for 4. There's a Float Stone, which is good. I have for retreat. I'm going to play my V Seeker right now, right there for Wally. And I can have that Raticate break in play. The only problem is that I'm playing against deck who actually runs something like non-EX attackers, and at the time it's very difficult to knock out non-EX attacker. So I can use my Super Fang right there, and I can knock out his Blitzy. I can draw 1 prize, but trust me, drawing 6 prize is not that easy. So let's see, the next prize is actually a double Colress energy. I don't like that. I need something bigger and better. Then again, if Raichu comes into play, it can do a lot of problems to me. And I can see Raichu hitting me hard. Unfortunately, Raticate is just 110 HP, so there's a double Colress energy. That means that he can actually use that agility attack. And there's another Professor Sycamore. At least I knock his Zubstrika out, which is definitely a good one. So he's not able to use Zubstrika. And there's a Raichu with that Circle Circuit, who can actually hit me for a lot of damage as long as he have a lot of Pokemons on his bench. So far he have 2, so that means that he can hit me only for like 40, which is good. As long as I can reduce the damage that he can output, I'm more than happy with that. So I have that Abyssal Hand in my hand. Guess what I'm going to do next turn? Probably Ultra Ball, so I can actually play Super Road, because I know that I have Super Road left in my deck, and that's the next card after Jirachi and Erietos. So I can definitely go with my Ultra Ball, so I can have Abyssal Hand for the 4 or 5 cards. There's a circuit for the 40. I'm more than happy seeing that. So there's a Ultra Ball. I'm going to search my deck for one of my Ratatas. I need to have another attacker as soon as possible. I will also attach one of my double Chorus Energy units, so I can actually have my Abyssal Hand running for 5. There's a Silent Lab, which is good. And also Professor Sycamore, so I will take a risk and discard one of my double Chorus Energy. It's not that I need to do that, but I will do that. Alright, so, and all suddenly I get a full bench of my Pokemons and I'm ready to battle, so Super Fang for another knockout. I can expect that Raikou knockout my Raticate next turn. Then again, I can easily respond. I do have energy attached to my Rattata. I have another Radietos. I have Raticate and be a Seeker for the Wooly, so I can actually have Raticate break in a single turn, but of course, first, I need to find a way to get Super Road to bring back my Raticates into my deck. So that's probably cost me a turn or 2, but at least I can play Abyssal Hand, Professor Sycamore, stuff like that. So we'll see definitely what I can do. I will promote my Rattata in the active. Will evolve my Raticate. We'll go with my Ultra Ball for, or maybe not yet. Yeah, energy attachment, that's for sure. After that Trainer's Mail, I need to find that Super Road as soon as possible. So there is Level Ball for another round of Raticate, I guess. So I can have 2 Raticates in play. Of course, Ultra Ball for maybe another Rattata. And right now, the moment of truth, will I be able to search my deck for that big Super Road with my Abyssal Hand right there? That's very important. Unfortunately, no. That means that I cannot attack this turn. But I can play my V-Seeker, and I can force my opponent to discard something like 3 cards from his hand with my Delinquent, and after that I can actually play my Silent Lab again. So I guess that's the best thing that I can do at this moment right now. So he's going down to 1 card. He probably will lose a lot of resources right there, and after that I can just play my Silent Lab again, so I can have 1 card less in my hand. Alright, so that Lysander was big. I'm going to retreat to one of my Erietos, just because I don't want to lose my Raticate. It's more important to have Raticate instead one of my Erietos in play. And what I'm going to do right here is just I'm going to pass. So for the next turn, probably I will try to go with, I don't know what. Maybe I should go right now with the end, but in that case I should just draw 4 cards and leave my opponent chance to get something bigger and better. And I guess that playing that, there's a V-Seeker for Professor Sycamore, and I guess playing that Delinquent was actually a better chance to win this matchup. So there's Professor Sycamore for the 7. There's another Blitzy. I'm not sure which says damage from any from the attacks of your is infected by any effects of your opponent active Pokemon. Alright, so that's pretty badass. effect. So there's a level ball. Yeah, that Substriker is just good. It can go through everything. So there's a hard charm, but unfortunately for my opponent, that hard charm it's not going to work. On the other side, there's a Flareon, so he can hit me for the weakness right there. Alright, so I need to find as fast as I can that Super Road, or I'm in a huge trouble without my Raticate break in play. So I guess this is going to be a Ultra Ball for pretty much nothing, just so I can draw cards until I have 6 in my hand. Actually 5. Come on, give me that Super Road, I really need it. Yeah, I was not able to find Super Road, so I don't know what to do, to be honest, right here, right now. Yep, I'm going to retreat down to my Rattata, and I'm going just to play my V-Seeker, and I'm going to Delinquent my opponent's hand again. I guess, or maybe not, or maybe just go with the N. I guess N might be a better option. I need to find Super Road, and finally I managed to find one. So I can put back 2 of my Raticate breaks into my deck. And what else I need to take back into my deck? Definitely 2 Raticate break, and maybe that Jirachi can actually be a good one. Alright, so I'm going to pass. So I'm expecting 1 more knockout, but as long as I have 2 more Raticates left in play and ready to attack, I'm pretty much happy with that. I also have the Jirachi for the backup. I'm down to 4 prizes and 6 cards left, so it's not that easy. Need to be very smart and really very cautious right there by playing those Raticates. As long as I have my Arietos left in play, I'm good. But the question is, will my opponent maybe play V-Seeker for Lysander and go straight away for the knockout over my Arietos? If he do that, then I'm definitely in a huge trouble. That's for sure. Okay, there's a Silent Lab replaced with the Rough Seas. Not that big deal, I guess. Rough Seas, it's a good card, but it can only scrap the damage off it, cannot remove special conditions that your Pokemons are actually affected with it. Trainer's Mail for nothing. I should definitely say that my opponent needs to have something like Octillery in his hand and in his deck, so he can actually get some Abyssal Hands for more cards. Without them, actually, he can't do too much. So let's go with the Raticate. Right now I have Wally in my hand, so that means that I have access to my Raticate break, but even better, I managed to find one. And there's a Wally number 2 for... actually, there's Wally number 1. I managed to top deck one of my Raticates. And I will just use my Super Fang without drawing any card because I'm very low with the cards in my deck. I'm down to 4. How many V-Seekers I do played? There is a Trainer's Mail number 2 for my hand. And I played all of my 3 V-Seekers. That means that I don't have any more access to my N. Oh, actually I have 1 more N prized or in my deck, so that's definitely a good thing. There's another Spirit Seed that needs to be knocked out. Actually, another Substrika. So he can hit for the 50 right there with that Crushing Bolt, which is definitely a good, with a double Colress energy, but he definitely does not have one of them, so there's even Jirachi. I don't even know if I want to bench it down at this moment. I will definitely avoid playing my Jirachi right now. And we'll go with that Super Fang. So right now I can just take prize for prize from turn to turn. 2 more prize left. My opponent is down to 3 cards. There's a Teammates. Alright, not bad. Let's see, he probably will promote his Pikachu in the active spot. Expected to see something like that. My turn again, so that means that I can again use my Poisonous Nest. I even managed to tap deck Lysander, and I can continue attacking with my Super Fang. So I'm going down to one card next turn and one prize, and yeah, I guess it's pretty much GG from this point. There's another puzzle of time. I played already all 3 puzzles, so I only have 1 left. And yeah, I mean, it really doesn't matter which Pokemon my opponent promote in the active spot, if it's Raikou or Flareon, because I can actually one-hit them knockout with my Super Fang. So right now you can see how good actually this deck is. It's pretty decent budget deck, I should definitely say that. You can see how fast and how explosive turn 1 you can get with this deck. And also turn 2 can be definitely very strong, so keep in mind what would happen if I actually knocked out my opponent EX Pokemon with energy cards and he was not able to attack me. For example, that would be just a crazy thing. So at the end, Super Fang actually knockouts 6 of my opponent Pokemon, so Raticate Break is definitely MVP in this game. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. It was definitely very nice feeling to play with this budget deck. So once again, there is a full deck list. If you're looking to build something like that, you can definitely use my list as a template. So once again, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more future videos. If you have any questions, definitely you can send me a private message via Facebook or here on the YouTube, or leave the comment below and let me know what you think about this deck. So till the next time, have a nice day and goodbye.